I watched a 70s double from Indicator, Cisco Pike and Charley Varrick. Hi everyone, and thank you for taking a peek in my film diary. I watched a couple of Indicator films I've had on my shelf for a while, so let's talk about Charley Varrick. Let's read the line on the back. When he runs out of dumb luck, he always has genius to fall back on. So this is a heist gone wrong movie, and basically these people decide to rob a bank in a small town, and then as they get away they realize there is a lot more money in the bank than you would expect from a small bank. And so Charley realizes it's mob money, and that's not a good thing because police will give up, the mob won't. So he wants to sort of hide and leave and do nothing, but the other guy wants to spend the money because he's happy to have a lot of money. And so the film goes from there as they're figuring out what to do with the money. And also there's another character who has been sent after them, played by Jodon Baker, who I adored in this movie. His character was really interesting, and I really had a fun time. And it sort of becomes a him versus Charley movie, and I do really enjoy that. Walter Matthau's great. He's so laid back, and it's just interesting to have that kind of character in this movie. There is a little bit of a romance thing that feels a bit out of place, and I heard someone say it was kind of like trying to make him a bit of a James Bond kind of character, you know, meeting this beautiful woman and she has a round bed, which is an interesting style thing. But besides that, this movie is fun and yes, a very good time. So I'm very glad I found this one, and I do think I am probably going to try and seek out some more Walter Matthau films. He's one of those actors that was around when I was a kid, but you know, in the 90s, it was like Grumpy Old Men was probably the main thing that I knew him from. And so he's one of those guys, kind of like Al Pacino, that I just never really saw them when they were young. And then now I'm discovering a lot of people. As well as the thing of, there's a lot of actors that I really know well from my whole life, hearing about them, and haven't watched their movies. And so I know I had that with Elizabeth Taylor. I finally watched some of hers just, you know, in adulthood within the last 10 years or so. So there's a lot of people like that. So Walter Matthau, I think, is going to be on that list now, that I need to look around more at the older movies, and hopefully I can find some more gems like this. Now I picked this as a cover buy with this. I'm pretty sure these were in the same order when Indicator had their 3 for £20. And I used to just add that in if I was ordering something else. So Cisco Pike is another one. The cover intrigued me. Chris Christopherson looks pretty cool there. So I will say, actually, that has just reminded me, both of these movies have really cool musical intros that are very interesting. Charley Varrick actually had a really interesting, the music opened and it was just showing shots around the town of just people going about life, but you know, it was the 70s. I love the look of the 70s, so when you just see people and there's flared pants, very cool. I wish like flares and bell bottoms and all that was still in. They've kind of come back in now, but more wide leg pants. But either way, not a fan of skinny jeans, so I love other thing, but I love 70s stuff. I kind of wish that was still a thing. Anyway, this one starts with a cool song as well. So this one is about Cisco Pike, who has come out of jail. He got put away for dealing, and he decides he's not going to do that anymore. He's going to go straight. But then a corrupt cop played by Gene Hackman basically forces him. He's got a whole stash of weed that he needs sold. So he's like, you have to sell all of this in this weekend and give me the money on Monday morning. And so it is following him trying to sell it all, and the people he meets, and the stories over time. This also has Harry Dean Stanton turn up, which is always a fun thing to see in a movie. I didn't love this as much as I had hoped. It took me a little while to get into it, but it kind of gets better as it goes along and as it builds up to sort of the ending. But overall, I did enjoy this, so I'm glad that I have it. I'm glad I have both of these in my collection. But yes, if I had to pick one to recommend more, I would definitely say Charley Varrick. Very, very good. One of my favorites that I've seen in a while. So yes, 2 more indicators off my shelf. I still have a number of them to watch, but yes, it was a good month for indicator. So that is it for this. I will see you next time. Thank you for hanging out. And yes, if you've seen either of these films, let me know. Or if you plan to watch them, I would be very interested to hear that. So, okay, bye.